If we look at the concept of development, we're looking at a constant process of nurturing something. So, and that's basically our target. So with the selection teams that was powered by Megabuild, it was important for us to not only play every weekend teams against each other. It was about getting the elite guys, the better talented guys together, get them into a training camp where they training together and try to raise the level of the individual players. So as such, with under 17s, we started on Friday, and we had the coaches, we had specialized coaches. We had Karen Smith, that is a former under 20 national team player that studied for his B science at Stellenbosch. So he did the coordination and athletic agility trainings. So in that regard, from his point of view, is that a lot of coordination has to be put into the basics, which is starting at under 9s. So with the under 17s, because of their physical build, it's something that they do every day. It was a good one. But overall, if you look at the under 17s, for example, they technically sound, but then on the tactical part, there's certain problems on that. But it's a process in saying that if your technical ability is good, normally the tactical part will also be to a certain extent also okay, because it's a process that happens. So on the first day we did a lot of coordination, we did a lot of shooting, get the technique right, passing, receiving and passing. So it was very receptive from the boys. They wanted, they were learning, they're all coachable. And on Saturday, we had double sessions, where we had the morning session and then the afternoon session. On Sunday, the under 17s then ended the training camp with a friendly match against SKW under 19. Obviously, the physicalities of the SKW players was advantage to them, but because of the intensity and the passing that we were implanting in them in 3 days, they went into the lead. I think the first 17 minutes they were leading 2-0 against SKW. And these elite guys, it's not about playing every day and talent, only the talent, displaying the talent. It's like now they're at a stage where the talent needs to be combined with work. And that's some of the homeworks that we gave them, and say they have to do some extra work, whether it's working on their bodies, to try and increase body mass, to be athletic, do stairs at home, skipping ropes, do your push-ups, more juggling. So for our next camp, it's about checking where they were now, which was actually a very good level, but then with some of the deficits that we saw during this weekend, to work on those deficits. Shooting is still a problem to some of the guys, because they don't do a lot of target shooting at the club levels. But in the 3 days that we did every day, for example, shooting, you could see that the technique is changing. The balls that was flying all over the field are now on target. And why? Just the simplicity of emphasizing it in these 3 days. And that's the positivity that we took out of that under 17 group. And for the boys, self-confidence is like, if you can play to a 3-all draw against the boys that's 2-3 years above your age, I think that is positive. And you could see the enthusiasm they were displaying on the day. And it's really wonderful to see from the under 17s. And we hope to have formed a base for them, and for them to start working on their talent and not only rely on their talent.
What a pass!
If you look at the under 13s, that's mostly the year they were born, 2007, 2008. That is the jewel. They were technically a bit better than me and you were at that age. They were clever. They could anticipate certain situations. They comfortable on the ball. The way they behave on the field, their chests are out. Why? It's a simple thing. They are 13 years old now. This program has been running for 4 years. So that means when this program started, they were 9 years. And we made it a point that each player playing in the MTC HopSol Youth Soccer League has to at least play 20 to 25 matches a year. So in this group, it's also called the golden learning age. It was really fun working with this group because they like computers that is taking everything in. And also emphasis was a lot on coordination because they also in that phase that they're growing. Coordination, agility, speed, thinking where to play the ball before the ball comes to my feet, to be able to play with both feet. And this group is so creative and so clever that if I'm allowed to do that, I'll say this is probably the next generation of top footballers out of Namibia. So these boys also, if you tell him to pass the ball there and he has to take it on a shorter space, they do everything in full power. That means that these guys are receptive. They're taking everything in, and they're a bit clever than we were. And it was really nice to see the development of these boys. We had 4 sessions over the 3 days with them. And the Sunday after the match they played, most of the parents were like, no, these guys don't want to go home, because it was just an enjoyable state, an enjoyable place, an enjoyable camp that we had. There was a bond that you see that these guys are actually more than just soccer players, the camaraderie that was that came out of there. And I think as a Namibian, we were really proud. And I want to thank obviously our trainer team. It's a bunch of young, motivated, hungry guys that was on the field. Coach Ricky, Coach Gift, Coach Penny, Coach Karen, Coach Nikki, Coach Jerry, Coach Shomita. They did a wonderful job with the planning. It was all professionally organized. And we had the under 15 group as well. And a lot of emphasis on that group was obviously also on the coordination, the agility, the speed, the technical part. And also we concentrated a lot on the technical part, because you could see the deficit in that most of them obviously don't train where they have the whole field for themselves. So it's difficult for the coaches to do certain drills to show this guy that, yeah, I'm a right back, and if my right wing has the ball, what do? I overlap. So those are the things that we were working on, shifting with the left, with the back for how to shift. Unfortunately, we couldn't have a match with them, but they played among each other. But you could see then also the understanding, the bonding they had with these 3 days of being together, that there's improvements. Some of the boys could also now play over the third man. It's things that they were not really aware of. And I think as a Namibian, we need to create that Namibian player and play to our strength. We're not really physical, but it's not that you have to be this big bear to make it on an international level and to compete on an international level, but you just have to be clever. And that's the cleverness is, how do I feel? How am I in control of the ball? And those are the aspects nowadays that if you're in control of the ball, you're in control of the match. It was also very receptive. You could see that group was actually really tired, because all in all, you had four training sessions in 2 or 3 days, and some of the boys are not used to that. But we're preparing them for what's lying in front, and I think it was also a very positive impression that we had from them as well. Our partners, the camp was powered by Megabuild. Our partners, the MD, Mr. Marcel Lambrecht, that was in attendance on Friday and Saturday. We obviously want to thank them from the bottom of our heart for seeing and believing in this vision that we have in creating this Namibian player and creating the exposure, creating the platform in them becoming the next Dion Otto or Peter Shalulile. With their marketing managers, the duo of Clarissa Retti and Silke Koen, that we had these talks when we started with explaining to them what we wanted to do. It took them 10 minutes to come on board, and because they saw the vision and they're part of the community. This is a big brand, and for that we just want to thank them. And when we know that this is the beginning of greater things, and it will be good if all of us can do it. in the regions, and that's also our plan in going to the regions. But all in all, the selection camp was a huge success, and if it was up to me, we will do it next week again.